final test match at the Oval. Well, a long time ago they made a film about the final contest of a series between England and Australia, and that was full of excitement and drama. I wonder if this one here over the next 5 days will be able to match it. Well, certainly the conditions couldn't have been better this morning. Beautiful sunshine, a temperature forecast of around about 22 degrees. You couldn't have asked for more, particularly as the pitch looked to be very hard and firm, and I reckon there'll be a little bit of bounce in it, certainly on the first day. The teams, well, Ian Botham got through his fitness test this morning. Athey was made 12th man, and Agnew left out. So it's the same side there as Edgbaston. Australia, 3 changes. In comes Dirk Wellham in the middle of the batting order. In comes Murray Bennett and Dave Gilbert. 4 byes have been registered in the very first over. It's the first ball of the second over. McDermott is coming into bowl to Tim Robinson.
Single to Robinson, the first run going up for the batsman. I think Australian supporters and viewers would like to forget McDermott's bowl in the last test match when he had an off match. But that apart, he's got a remarkable record already. It's only his 8th test match. He's collected 36 wickets. And he comes in now to Gooch. And that's his problem, as it was there. That over-pitch ball on the leg stump. And both Gooch and Robinson are very powerful in that area. It was estimated that about 80% of England's runs came on the leg side up at Birmingham, making that very big total. And he's yorked him. There's the ball pitched up straight through Robinson's defence. Good fast yorker, knocking back the off stump, and England lose Robinson with 20 on the board. He goes bowl McDermott for 3, and the early wicket that Australia were looking for. You could see that ball swinging in, and swinging in quite late. And that's always the danger with a swing ball. If it swings all the way, it's easy to pick up. This one, in fact, seemed to come in quite late in its flight. Knocked back the off stump, and a rare failure there for Tim Robinson. Well, as you would expect, there'll be an array of slips and gullies for David Gower at the start of his innings. Stroked away quite beautifully. Lovely little elegant shot there as ever from Gower to see him safely away. Picks up 2 for it. It completes McDermott's over.
So Australia and England level pegging here. England 23 for 1. And the quick bowlers going pretty well, but a change at the top end and a debut of the new young Australian bowler, Dave Gilbert.
Yeah, the first runs off him. Gooch was aiming it away square of the wicket on the offside. Might be an indication that he is a little quicker than he appears, that the ball flew a little finer than that. It's a very good delivery. It escaped the clutches of Border and Ritchie and Wood and everyone else who was rushing back. That was very well bowled by McDermott.
Gower in all sorts of trouble. One hand off the bat. He doesn't know where the ball's gone. It's just lobbed over the despairing chase of Alan Border.
No ball and 4. It's getting a little bit of insult to the injury. 50 comes up for England, 52 for 1. And Gower has already caught Gooch.
Lawson from the pavilion end to Graham Gooch. It's a lovely shot, through it off. It'll race away for 4 runs. That's catchable level. A couple of gullies there, and could well have been curtains for David. That's the opposition balcony there. Trying to view both of them. Well, he goes 4 for it, but I don't think David Gower will be over-thrilled about that one. That ball came onto him a lot quicker than he imagined it would. Well, that's wafted through there again. No third man, it's 4 runs. David Gower again taking life in his hands.
The trouble with this shot, it's neither a cut nor a defensive stroke. It's just a little push away from the body with the bat angled, and it keeps floating through that area. But it's almost as though David Gower said, well, there's nothing I can do about this shot. It's just part of me. It gets me some runs and it gets me out occasionally.
McDermott coming back at this pavilion end. Coming on in place of Lawson. Oh, he's fairly lashed into that. Hook nowhere near it. And no third man once again. So David Gower probably thinking this is his lucky day. And this is a bowler we haven't seen on the Test match scene before. This is Murray Bennett, one of the changes in the Australian lineup today. Gooch to face. Just helped that round the corner. I'm going to be 1 short of 100 so far. That takes you on to 99. We haven't in this series on the first day had 100 scored before lunch. 96 from the Australians in the first test. It's the best. It's going to make certain the 100's up by lunchtime. A legitimate sweep this time from Graham Gooch. Brings up a single, brings England exactly on to 100 at lunch. 100 for 1, the wicket to go down, that of Tim Robinson.
That's a great start for England, and both Gower and Gooch were looking in commanding form up to that luncheon score of 100 for 1. We pick up play now in the very 3rd over after lunch. 4 runs have been added. Craig McDermott, who bowled with plenty of pace in the first session, is coming in now. Taking strike is Graham Gooch.
And that's beaten mid-off. Pilditch in pursuit. There'll be an easy 3. Might even get to the rope, which it does. 4 more to Gooch.
Bennett to Gower. Gower's just sizing up the left arm spinner. Sized him up to the extent of realising there's no man at long on. That's a good shot. Century for David Gower. Already some good touch. 50 from 64 balls, 7 boundaries. It's his 26th half-century, and he's hit 1100s as well. And he's having a terrific season against the Australians. Well placed. Perfectly positioned for the stroke, and he hit it with precision straight between the 2 men on the offside. Graham Gooch goes to 52.
Gilbert to Gower. Lovely forcing shot off the back foot by Gower for 4. Gower at his very best there. Been lucky so many times with the weather here at the start of the Oval Test. It's another lovely day, sort of day that everybody's been waiting for such a long time. Bennett and to Gooch. That's the short one that Gooch has been waiting for. He makes no mistake again. Placed it ideally there between cover and backward point for 4. And Dave Gilbert gets a break at this pavilion end. And Jeff Lawson comes to take over. Oh, lovely stroke. Lent into that again. Stroked it through the offside for 4 more. And again, that brings the 2 batsmen level, both on 72.
Bennett to Gower. That's safe. McDermott the fielder, 3 more to Gower. Wild throw from McDermott, and 2,000 runs in Test cricket against Australia for David Gower. Not many people have done that. This is his 48th innings against Australia.
So England already approaching 200. Going along steadily at about 4 runs and over.
Too short. It's been the problem with the bowlers for much of the time, since Lance Lawson has kept the ball up more. Now, that was too short from Bennett. And the 200 comes up from England. 203 for 1.
Alan Border using this 15-minute period, himself and Murray Bennett, to give his quick bowlers an extra rest. But his accuracy's all awry, and that's 100 for David Gower. Another Test match century for the England captain, and life is pretty good for him at the moment.
And the 200 partnership coming up in the last over before tea. Yes, a great partnership and a splendid innings from David Gower to follow on his double century in the Edgbaston Test match. Gooch, 94 not out. He's gone along very well. He's played some crashing drives and 1 or 2 very good hook shots as well. Here's the first ball of the second over after tea. 3 runs have been added. Graham Gooch is on 97 and McDermott is coming into bowl again.
Full pitch, and that's just what Graham Gooch wanted, because that will surely take him to 100. No problem at all. It's over the ropes now. And a great relief for Graham Gooch. Long wait to make his first 100 against Australia. Something of a mystery that it hasn't happened before. But he finally goes to 101 out of 227 for 1. 194 balls, 13 fours. His 5th Test 100 in all, but as we've already said many times, this is his first against Australia. McDermott again. Pitch driven quite beautifully again through the covers. No need for anybody to move there. 4 runs. So McDermott can't get it right. The half volleys are too short.
but an exemplary cover drive by Graham Gooch.
Well, we're going to see Kepler Wessels bowl now.
I've seen Kepler Wessels bowl in limited overs games in Australia, where he has to bowl perhaps 5 of an allotted 10 overs. But he's finding it a little tougher out there at the moment. Gower 128 and Gooch 118.
It's an often used phrase, but today the ball has literally gone to all parts. Kepler Wessels is removed from the attack, and Murray Bennett is to return from the Vauxhall end.
Very good shot. And he's done that extremely well. And that's an improvised stroke. Nonetheless, it went very quickly. So Border has taken off Wessels, his part-time bowler, and brought on his spinner Murray Bennett, and the result has been the same. Fortunately, this is not the weather for log fires. There's Lawson now preparing to come in from the pavilion end. 288 for 1, and Gower's on 129. Good shot. Magnificent stroke, timing and placement. Well, there's a nice little march. And the bird in the white cap has fixed all that. It's a delightful scene at the moment. No one needing to wear sweaters out there. Packed house. Must be something around 19,000 in all, but about 12,500 seats sold. The rest are members. Lawson to Gooch. Once again, the slow ball. Up comes the 300 for England for the loss only of Tim Robinson. 134 to Gooch, 135 to Gower. Drop. Kepler Wessels got a hand to it. Lawson's slower bowler was very well bowled. Had Gower playing too soon. Kepler Wessels got his fingertips to it, but it just wouldn't stick.
Bennett again. Well, that's a short one which you can't bowl to Gooch. With 140 odd on the board, it's 4 more, 320 up. And that means a 300 partnership. Golden days for English cricket this summer. Lawson then continues round the wicket. Gooch on 147. Another fine shot. Excellent way to go through to a 150. 151 for Graham Gooch. Those runs coming out of a total of 328 for 1. Gilbert to Gower. Oh, a cracking shot. Gower enjoying that, as indeed the crowd have. So he too goes onto another landmark. 151 out of a 349 for one score. And nothing better seen all day from the bat of Gower. Beautiful cover drive. 20th for Graham Gooch to face. His 162, of course, is his high score ever in a test match. He's got the slow left arm of Bennett to cope with now. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. Just gave himself a little amount of room to pick his spot on the offside.
Graham Gooch has simply taken Murray Bennett apart today. If he puts the fielders on the leg side, he does that and hits the ball through the off. That's in the air.
It's in the air all right, Bob, but Adelbert thinks it might have gone for 6. But just dropping short of the ropes. The fielder had been back on the boundary. He would certainly have had a good chance of taking the catch. There he goes, all the way back. So back comes McDermott. This time from the far end here, the Vauxhall end.
Got him. Colcott. Murray Bennett, I think it needed 2 goes to grab it. But he did. It went at terrific pace off the middle of Gower's bat. Bennett caught it at gully. And Craig McDermott has his 2nd wicket. What a marvellous innings from David Gower. Fully appreciated by the capacity crowd here at the Oval today. A delightful exhibition.
Great ovation for a great player. David Gower leaves the arena after creating a little bit of history. It's been a marvellous summer for him after he came through that gruelling test early in the season. And this is how it all ended. Ball played very firmly into the gully. Murray Bennett, a specialist gully fieldsman, taking at least 2 attempts to gather it safely. But it hasn't gone back to the turf. And Mike Gatting, for the 2nd test match running, comes in after a very long wait indeed.
89 overs have gone. Last one coming up now, and Murray Bennett to bowl it, and to bowl it to Gatting. And he's caught him. With some hesitation. Border has given Bennett his 1st test wicket in England. Border diving forward to take the catch. And Gatting just waiting to check with Border that had been caught above the ground, and marches off very, very disappointed. Now, the Australians have broken through twice. A lot of runs on the board, though. 376 of them. 3 wickets down, and Bennett his 1st wicket of the day. Very much a case of being thankful for small mercies. That wicket going down towards the end, and Embury faced 5 balls without a run being scored. 376 for 3, a tremendous batting onslaught from England. 157 in brilliant fashion from Gower, and Gooch going right through the day for 179. The bowling figures tell their own tale, but there is an oddity there. The 2 new boys, Gilbert and Bennett, between them bowled 44 overs, and the 2 strike bowlers, Lawson and McDermott, for some reason bowled only 41. But perhaps I can give you an idea of the reason, because the over rate was so slow that the game didn't finish until 46 minutes after the scheduled runs have been added, and Lawson is coming in to bowl to Gooch. the off the mark. And start for number 1 on the board, Graham Gooch, 183 he goes to. Ken Palmer and entrusted with the shiny leather. The other one took a tremendous belting yesterday. Remarkable how it stayed in shape. So often we see bowlers holding the ball up to the umpire and saying it's gone out of shape. Got a bit of a hump on it. Well, yesterday, if ever a ball was to do that, it would have been in those 6 hours and 46 minutes. That'll beat the third man into the boundary. 8 from this over, forward the old ball, forward the new. Earnest watches on the Australian balcony. Another no ball. Comes the 400. Well, the second new ball was touted as being one of Australia's chances so far. But what's happened is that it's gone off the bat a bit quicker than the old one. No ball call against McDermott. A little bit of a flick down the leg side. And Border and the other slips were no doubt that there'd been contact there, and in fact it came off the glove. And the no ball call against McDermott.
So a particularly long dagger going into the back of Alan Border. He can't believe his fortune this test match.
And great catch, going the wrong way. Picked it up. Gooch is gone on 196. McDermott has 3 wickets now, but that was a very, very good effort. He was in his follow-through away to the left and caught it down very, very low.
The attempted Yorker from McDermott. Low full toss, Gooch hitting it straight back, and a very agile catch by McDermott.
403 for 4. Gooch caught and bowled McDermott 196, 310 balls. And I don't think I've ever seen Graham Gooch play better than yesterday, and he started off brilliantly this morning as well. 405 for Gooch out for a magnificent 196. Here's Lawson. And 1 for Lawson. The big congratulations from the team there. Dave Gilbert rushes over to say well done, and 2 wickets are down this morning with the second new ball. Dirk Willem, the New South Wales captain, the Sheffield Shield, the man who leads Lawson. Embu, the night watchman, caught by Willem for 9.
Ian Botham not cutting loose yet. Both McDermott and Lawson have bowled very well at him so far. Given him no room on the offside to play that lofted shot over the cover area. 3 of the England selectors in the England dressing room. Alec Bedser partly hidden, Alan Smith and the chairman Peter May. Mike Gatting struggling with the Daily Telegraph crossword. And the 4th selector, Phil Sharp, given up altogether.
The Australians They don't do much with the crossword. Mountaineering is their game.
A streaky 4 runs there, going for the big drive again, thick outside edge. Just missing second slip, but not by much. And 4 sketchy runs there to Ian Botham. Alan Lamb, just with the single to his name, on strike. Yes, safely pouched down at deep long lane. Alan Lamb goes, it's another wicket for Lawson. And he's out for a single. Lamb, 418 for 6. And yet again, we've seen the hook shot bring about the downfall of another England batsman. Lawson to Downton. Downton nudging that. He'll push through mid-wicket for a single, that's enough. Sees him off the mark. Well, I'm just waiting for those 2 men to go back. Might be that Botham will feel he has that little bit of extra time to play the hook shot off Lawson, who's not quite the pace of McDermott. But I'd be surprised if there isn't 1 or 2 on offer for him. And that's edged and gone, caught behind. Good catch there by the keeper. Lawson takes another wicket and Botham goes. Out for 12, very thick edge, good diving catch away to the right. It's 425 for 7. It's been very much Australia's morning.
There have been just a touch of swing here. Very little, if there was any, just a very wide ball. And Ian Botham's given it the kitchen sink, and Wayne Phillips has taken a clean, wide catch off an outside edge.
He hasn't bowled too many of those today, but when he has, they've been clipped away.
McDermott hasn't strayed off line very much today, but that one's drifting down the leg side. And Downton tucks it away just in front of square.
A change of bowling now, and this is a good chance for Dave Gilbert, his first test match, to perhaps pick up a wicket.
Single to Ellison.
England won't be as happy with this morning's work as their excellent day yesterday. They could really have slammed the door on Australia today and put them completely out of this contest.
And well done. Gilbert has his first test match wicket. And the Australians have broken through again. There's a young man who's worked hard on his test match debut. Has taken a wicket, and England are 447 for 8. Wayne Phillips, the catcher.
Awesome to England. And he's beaten again. Whether he got a nick or not, this never really knows. The keeper's dropped it.
All the slips were going up, and it looks as though it must have been an outside edge from the excitement there, but it hit the heel of the hands of Wayne Phillips, the keeper, and has gone straight down.
Downton, the one batsman we've seen this morning who, as ever, has played the quickest pretty well. Faces McDermott now. And he's bowling all over the place. What a great start there for McDermott. What a good delivery too. One of the great sights for any quick bowler there. Middle stump flattened, flying out of the ground. Well, it's 452 for 9. I'm sure McDermott would love to see this many times. Nips back, just finds that little gap, extra bit of pace, and out goes the middle stump. And whichever way you look at it, it's always going to be the same answer. This is the first ball that Les Taylor, well shielded there, has ever faced in Test match cricket. It's not a very nice welcome.
Well, that was clearly very painful. It's probably nipped off the inside edge into the inside right thigh there, and there's a nerve that runs down there, and it's just like a gun going off when it hits you in that particular position. And you'll need to watch that he doesn't pull that muscle when he's bowling.
He got an edge on that. I suppose it could go down as a chance.
Well, the best thing that Taylor did here was to get his feet out of the way, because they might have knocked one of them off. I think it was really quick.
Lawson to Edmonds. That's a good looking stroke. That's going to beat everybody over the ropes for 4. Lawson again. And he's out this time, shuffled across, got everything right in front. And I think little doubt there, Phil Edmonds knows it, and it leaves England all out for 464. So 4 wickets apiece for the opening bowlers, 4 for McDermott, 4 for Lawson. And Lawson's had a particularly good spell here this morning. He's taken 4 for 13 off just 43 balls. 7 overs and 1 ball, 4 for 13. And McDermott, the bright new hope we've seen this year of Australian cricket, with 30 wickets to his name in this series to date. And a bowler I think most people are convinced we're going to see a lot of and hear a lot about in the future.
Well, England's innings finished some 20 minutes after lunch, and they totaled 464, which was disappointing from their point of view after they had such a marvellous day yesterday. A great fight back by the Australian bowlers today. The next top score to Gooch and Gower was Downton 16, and the bowling figures reflect that in the end, with Lawson and McDermott doing extremely well, 4 for 101, 4 for 108, and Dave Gilbert taking his very first wicket in Test match cricket. Now, the Australian innings started with Wood and Hilditch. We pick up play now with 3 runs on the board. It's the 4th ball of the first over. Ian Botham is coming in to bowl to Graham Wood.
That's the hook shot, he's gone for it, and we'll collect 4. And now he's telling long leg, exactly where he felt he might have been. It's a wide area to cover there for one guy.
I think one might have to put that down to Paul Downton, even though Embury in the end was the one who dropped it. I think Paul was going across there in front of Embury.
Good ball from Botham, good edge. Downton's left glove may have obscured Embury's line of sight, but it was Embury in the end that spilled the chance. Good delivery from Botham after testing Wood out with the short stuff much further up and producing that edge. This is where Botham's such a dangerous bowler. He can get pace out of any wicket And that's a direct hit on Graham Wood. Steep rising ball. He seems to be all right. He's dusted himself off and all ready to face the next delivery.
That's out. WW. Wood is gone. Botham has broken through. 35 for 1 Australia.
And a fine piece of bowling by Botham. After the bouncer, the ball pitched further up, catching Wood in front of his stumps. Ken Palmer adjudging him LBW. So Graham Wood leaves for 22, and England have their first wicket.
Andrew Hilditch is to take strike to Les Taylor. Just a single down to Tim Robinson. So Harold Bird once again is having a word with Les Taylor, and now he's had a word with David Gower, and he's told the other umpire and the batsman and the bowler that that is an official warning.
Botham on the move again. That's hooked away high again. Gooch is underneath it and he's gone. And would you believe that Hilditch again falls for the free country? Time after time, match after match. Who can blame Botham for dropping it there when so many batsmen obligingly hold out for him?
Well, what prompts Hilditch to go for the hook shot, I don't know. When there are 2 men down there waiting for the catch, he's not able to control it. Gets half a tough edge, and Graham Gooch is the boundary fielder, specifically put there, moved a couple of times just into that spot.
And only Andrew Hilditch will know what thoughts went through his mind as he played that shot and as he saw it soaring away towards Graham Gooch way down there at long leg. There were 4 more runs added up to the tea interval, but it took 6 overs for those 4 to be added. Here's the 5th ball now of the first over after tea. No runs have been added, and John Emburey is coming in. Kepler Wessels, the left-hander, is taking strike. That's very well bowled. The top spinner coming back with the arm from outside off stump, and Wessels trying to force away on the offside. Lovely piece of bowling from off spinner John Emburey. He spun the ball away and beat Wessels the ball before. A beautiful off spinner, and this was the toppy.
And also, Richie, an excellent bit of captaincy by David Gower. I thought for a long time this summer that John Emburey's been looked on very much as the second fiddle, but David Gower given the first opportunity to use what spin there is in this pitch, and Kepler Wessels the man out, bowled by John Emburey for 12, and Australia getting themselves into a bit of trouble now.
There's 4 for Border. That's the first short one John Emburey has bowled. He's been bringing the batsman forward for the rest of the time. That was what Kepler Wessels was trying to do. Didn't place them as well as Border. Now Ellison, who's had a magnificent spell from the Vauxhall end, swinging the ball both ways, bowls to Border. Didn't get that off the middle of the bat. It just came off the Q end, I think.
Brino to Wellham. There's a full toss, which should bring 4 very good runs for Dirk Whallam. Made the most of it. And 6 for 3 then, and first appearance of Phil Edmonds.
Replacing John Emery.
Well, that's through. It's going to be 4 runs. A clumsy effort there by Les Taylor. He was preparing for the dive when he stumbled. So that off drive for 4 by Dirk Whallam brings 3 figures on the board. 100 coming up. And he's gone this time. On his way without looking at the umpire. Ellison picks up his first wicket to the outside edge. Nicely taken by Downton, and it's 101 for 4. A bit of outswing, and well, I'm just following that bit of movement.
Yes, reward for Ellison for some persistent swing bowling. Very good line, he's been economical, and when the wicket comes, it was just a classic dismissal, and that's the way to get good players out. Peg away around their off stump, draw them into the shot.
Richie has had plenty of time to look round. What a fine start. Really has had a remarkable series in the field, Phil Edmonds. He's picked up some really excellent catches. And saves a certain 4 there. Quite surprising here, Edmonds without a slip. So to wicket, well, the slow bowler would normally like a slip a bit quicker. And that's got through and Border's gone. He just might have jabbed that one on. That's a vital wicket for England, and could in fact be a match-winning wicket. Border goes, bowled by Edmonds, and it's 109 for 5. 38 he made. 67 balls and included 4 fours.
And Border appeared to have that well covered, playing defensively on the back foot. He goes back, but it's done it quickly. That's the difference on this pitch. It's turned out of the rough and it's gone in quick, bounced a bit off the inside edge and down onto that leg stump. Just look dislodging the ball.
A tall figure of Wayne Phillips. That's a fine shot. Really has looked a very good player on occasions, Wayne Phillips. Beautifully played there. Right on top of it. Puts it down in front of square for 4.
It was a good stroke from Greg Ritchie. Just about saved, but it will still go into the rope. Tim Robinson, the fielder. Great conditions again for cricket here at the Oval. Lovely and warm, sunbathing weather. Here's Edmonds now to bowl to Wayne Phillips. 4 more. It wasn't all that short. He's got a very good eye, Wayne Phillips, and that is just about his favourite shot. Very lucky. Tremendous reflexes from Greg Ritchie. Even does his own fielding.
We'll be taking up ice hockey next.
They can take 3 there if they wish. Ritchie won't bother coming back. Satisfied with the 2. Stroke, trying to force away a ball of full length onto the offside against the spin. Wayne Phillips has gone for 18, and that's not one of his best. It's a stroke Wayne Phillips won't want to think about too much tonight, but a very good piece of bowling from Edmonds as part of a very solid-looking England bowling attack. 145 for 6 at the close of play, Australia, on the second evening. And disappointment for them after their bowlers did so well. But England, nothing but satisfaction as far as they were concerned. Ian Botham 2 for 50 in 11 overs. Edmonds has 2 for 28 and a wicket each to Ellison and Embury. And with just 1 run added, it's the second ball of the 3rd over. Ian Botham is the bowler, and the young Queenslander Greg Ritchie is taking strike.
Short delivery, nearly accounted for another Australian. But, very good shot there by Ritchie, could so easily have holed out at mid-on.
They just can't resist this stroke. Again, completely uncontrolled and very fortunate to beat the mid-on fieldsman.
Well, can't be as serious as all that, surely. Embury again. Down the wicket, took a fair old chance there. If there wasn't a spin, he was trying to whack it against it. And they'll come back for 3 runs. .150 comes up on the board. And it's been something of a battle for Australia, taking 335 balls received to post 150 up there. That's made for it. Outside the leg stump, no deep square leg, perfectly safe. Good shot there from Murray Bennett. So first boundary of the morning takes Bennett on to 6, a total of 158. Botham's 5 overs this morning have only cost 6 runs. Replaced by Richard Ellison, up to 20 yesterday. Bowled, thought exceptionally well at the start of his spell. Had the ball swing quite considerably.
Well caught. Tim Robinson at point, and Bennett goes a flashing square drive. He didn't quite get over it, and it was an excellent catch by Tim Robinson, just fractionally behind point.
Yes, that was certainly a very good catch. Hit it pretty hard. You can see it there flashing away well to his left, above his head. And this is not the easiest ground in the world for sighting the ball against the background of spectators, and he caught that, made it look pretty easy. But that's pretty lucky for Bennett. He's played pretty well this morning. He's been in no real trouble, but just got a bit too ambitious there and launched himself at it without really leaning into the shot. Just fractionally leaning back, which allowed the ball to go up in the air.
Ellison now to Lawson, 3 slips in a gully. It's a good shot from Lawson. feel it again. Gow's had 3 fierce drives to stop out there at extra cover.
Gower is in effect covering 2 fielding positions there, both extra cover and mid-off. There's a huge gap on the offside, and that athletic dive, although allowing 1 run, certainly saved a further 2.
There's Richard Ellison bowling to Ritchie. Greg Ritchie has gone on to be top scorer in this innings. Not a good performance from the young right-hander from Queensland. Goes on to 40, total to 190 for 7. Taylor's coming on again at the pavilion end. He's the only one without a wicket against his name. Alan Lamb again. There's been some good fielding this morning. In fact, this is a good fielding team. No weak links out there. Gooch, who's down in the deep, has a strong throwing arm and can catch close to the wicket. Robinson is very athletic, keeps himself extremely fit, I understand. Alan Lamb at Gully is quite brilliant. And there's Botham and Gatting, both excellent close to the wicket catchers. Can field anywhere for that matter. And that's the sort of thing they pull off. And Les Taylor has picked up his first test match, first test wicket in this innings. Just what he needed to give him a little bit of confidence and further to impress the selectors.
This demonstrates the superhuman powers that Ian Botham was given at birth. Hands on knees. Look at that reaction. Absolutely fantastic as he plucks that out of the air. Ian Botham has a remarkable record in Test match cricket with both bat and ball and also in the field. In his 79th match, that's his 90th catch. And is he pleased about it?
Jeff Wilson has no need to feel aggrieved at that. It was a brilliant piece of cricket to give Taylor his wicket, and just underlines what we were saying about the strength of the England fielding. Botham has taken some brilliant catches, pulled off some brilliant things over the years. And that brings in Craig McDermott with the Australian total 192 for 8. That's flown from Craig McDermott's hip. Whether it was intercepted by the edge of the bat or not, as the England players seem to think, was another matter.
I think this was definitely a chance. Taylor getting the line just right. Looked like inside edge onto thigh pad. Edmonds takes the catch, but then the ball slips out of his grasp. There it goes.
Well, I think from that replay and that angle, we can say that it definitely found the edge. And away goes McDermott on his way to the pavilion. And then back he comes. Inside edge, thigh pad, Edmonds' hands. McDermott goes to the pavilion, and suddenly it's a reprieve. Well, I didn't get round in that little run through of the brilliant fielders to say how well Philippe Edmonds has been fielding this summer, but that is just about the only blemish we've seen. He's been given the chance to make up for that now, coming on at the Vauxhall end. He's going to bowl left arm around the wicket to Greg Ritchie. There's a good solid blow from Craig McDermott, batting with his Queensland teammate Greg Ritchie. McDermott after that reprieve where Edmonds dropped him just adds a little bit of insult by smashing the same bowler straight down the ground.
The England captain with 8 wickets down will be thinking about that follow-on decision. He has the option of making Australia bat again if they don't reach 265, and in my opinion he can then shut the door on Australia and begin celebrating regaining the Ashes. There's just a chink of light for Australia if he decides to bat again.
It's well taken single. Single breaks up the 200, which again a little bit of problem with the bowler. Slight collision, but I'm quite sure it was accidental. And Edmonds decided now to bowl to Ritchie with 2 men out. Long on under, long off. There's trouble there if he hits the wicket. He's just recovered in time and got back. McDermott backing up, slipping about 5 or 6 yards out of his ground.
Craig McDermott ends up on his backside, slipping on this very dry strip, and a direct hit for Robinson could have caused him acute embarrassment.
Bit of turn there and hammered away square. Good shot there by Ritchie. The ball just fractionally short. Lift and turn. Edmonds there regretting that. Was to him a fairly simple chance. The first ball McDermott received from Taylor. His personal figures now 2 for 40. Taylor to continue. Very quickly off his mark there to get the one he wanted for 50. Well, a very good innings here from Greg Ritchie. Very comfortably the top scorer in the Australian innings to date. And he's been in precious little trouble all the time he's been there. 125 balls. 5 fours in his 50. And Ritchie has now gone past 400 runs in the series. Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful hit there off the back foot, straight for 4.
Craig McDermott showed us at Edgbaston that he's capable of excellent straight drives. This is right in the slot for him, and there's nothing wrong with that, straight out of the textbook.
It's a lovely stroke. Beautifully timed, just lent into that. Stroked it through extra cover. Turning for the third. And that's a big hoik. He's middled that one all right. Much more effective style than we saw before. Well over the ropes for 6. That's right, that indeed is a very big hit here at the Oval. It's a long boundary out there. And everything just dropped absolutely right there for McDermott. Just 2 wickets have dropped this morning. Murray Bennett caught by Robinson off Ellison. Give the Kent bowler his 2nd wicket, and Taylor picking up his 1st when he had Lawson beautifully caught by both of them in the slips. Very thick and a very fast edge, and magnificent head-high catch. So, All England bowlers figuring somewhere along the card. 2 each to both of them, Ellison and Edmonds. Embury coming on now at the Vauxhall end. And could be trouble if he hits, he's got to go. Yes. Great hesitation there, and that really was thrown away. Richie came, McDermott hesitated, saw Richie coming, decided to go, but if the throw was anything like good, he had to be run out. McDermott was a long time before, in fact, he decided to go. And when he did go, it was just too late.
Richie takes a single. Botham removes his sweater. Now Gilbert has to face the England all-rounder. Gilbert is on 1, 241 for 9. That's the end of the Australian innings. Gilbert plays on to Botham. Richie remains 64 not out. Australia all out for 241, and David Gower has the option now of enforcing the follow-on if he so wishes. Gower and the groundsman, Harry Bryn, is coming across towards him. There's no sign from Gower, so I anticipate that he'll be asking Australia to follow on. And it'll be a question of Alan Border deciding which roller he might want. And he's received the signal from Alan Border. So Australia are to follow on. Greg Ritchie finishing 64 not out in a total of 241. It was a fine performance from Ritchie, who's grown in stature in every innings he's played in this Test series. But that basically is a disappointing scorecard so far as the Australians are concerned. Everyone got a bit of a start, and no one other than Ritchie and perhaps Border, who was unlucky yesterday, were able to go on with it. 241 the total, and the bowling figures for England reflect their superiority. Botham 3 for 64 and a wicket in just over 6 overs. Taylor 1, Ellison 2 and Edmonds 2, and John Embury, who I thought bowled very well, 1 for 48 from 19 overs and 7 maidens, and that left the Australians 223 runs behind, and it gave David Gower the option of enforcing the follow-on, which he did, in my opinion, quite sensibly, and Wood and Hilditch once again with the Australian openers. Well, they added 12, and one of the things Gower would have taken into consideration in enforcing the follow-on was the chance of some bad weather. And in fact, the rain and bad light then caused a postponement of 155 minutes, which meant that play would go on to 7 o'clock. The Australians had added 12 up to that point. We pick it up now after the umpires have taken them back on the field. Taylor is coming in to bowl to Wood, and the batsman has made 5.
Short, hooked away, and Ellison just a little bit slow picking that up initially. It's not a very easy ground to pick him up out there on the outfield. If it set off immediately, there was a half a chance he might have snaffled that.
So, Graham Wood still prepared to live dangerously. This one dropping just short of Ellison. This would have been a very embarrassing dismissal for the Western Australian opening batsman.
Well, Graham Wood took a single. He's down at Botham's end now, and Botham, of course, will have 2 men back for it. Got one quite fine and one square. And he's pulled it on. And so many played-ons we've seen in this match, quite incredibly. It's another one out of Botham, and the Graham Wood goes. It's 13 for 1. And Botham getting ever nearer to Dennis Lilly's haul of Test match wickets.
It's another excellent piece of bowling by Botham. Wood is stranded on the back foot, expecting the bouncer. Botham pitches it up more. And similarly with David Gilbert's dismissal, the batsman dragging it onto his stumps.
Just the one man back at long leg for a couple of vessels. 2 short legs instead. It's a good delivery.
Botham really charging in, and a testing first delivery for Vessels. Right up into that rib cage again.
Taylor to Hilditch. Oh, would you believe it? Straight into Gower's hands. Comfortable catch. Hilditch looked in amazement there. Didn't really wonder how it got there. But it did, and he's gone, and Australia 16 for 2.
That you can see driving without letting his feet come forward, and the ball just lobbing nice and gently there to David Gower. A little bit unlucky picking one man out like that, but again, not a particularly good shot.
So crisis again facing Alan Border. Situation he's become, sadly for him, I suppose, used to over the series. He's going to need a superhuman effort now from him. Quick look up at the dark clouds, should gather in over on the west side of the oval. Pippa Vessels hasn't settled yet. I don't think he's particularly happy about the light. He's looked in the direction of Harold Bird a couple of times. So he finally gets underway with a single down to 3rd man. Edmonds are getting close at short leg. And he fairly hammered that. Reached that square leg boundary in a flash.
Well, that shot's not likely to get him off for bad light. He certainly gave that the full treatment, and Phil Edmonds won't be very happy about that, about 2 yards from the bat. In fact, he must have nearly hit him with the follow-through of the bat there.
Well, he didn't quite get that. He hit it away in front of square, but Gower will get it. They'll take 3. Martin going right across in front of first slip. It went through low. Don't think that Kepler Wessels will mark that down as one of his finest shots of the summer. It was very, very wide. And Botham has picked up another wicket.
Yeah, a very fine catch this, because I don't think it would have carried to first slip. But really, that's a pretty poor shot with Australia in the position they are. That ball must have been 2 feet wide nearly. And you can see it would have certainly probably just fallen short of first slip. So Paul Downton making the right decision there to keep going for that one, and a pretty good catch.
Both in the border.
Hit that away beautifully over Edmund's head. And Botham coming around the wicket now, just giving him the chance to assist it on its way. Willem has strike to Ellison. It's 51 for 3. Out, must be out. Well bowled by Ellison. He had the wood on Willem all the way through, beating him outside the off stump and on the off stump with the away swinger. And then that one looked as though it either came back or went straight on. And absolutely plumb. 11 more runs added up to the close after Willem's wicket. 62 for 4. And if the first innings scorecard was disappointing at 241, what about that one? 62 for 4. Hilditch out for 9, Wood for 6, Wessels for 7, and Willem 5, with only the skipper and the not-out batsman of the first innings, Ritchie, standing firm in the face of the England attack, which I thought were very, very purposeful out there this afternoon. Botham bowled fast, 2 for 25, a wicket every 4.5 overs, a good strike rate again. Taylor, 1 wicket, Ellison 1, and Embury just the 1 over towards the end. The situation at the close of the 3rd day, Australia. Alan Border is taking strike with no runs added, and Richard Ellison is the bowler from the Vauxhall end.
Well, a great clap from Richard Ellison. The question was it a chance? It seemed to go fast. The indications were that it did go off the bat. That certainly looked as though it went off the bat, and it's a drop catch by Paul Downton.
When things aren't going 100% right, you get all the difficult ones. He was at full stretch there.
And as so often happens after a drop catch, the batsman chips the bowler for 4, and the unfortunate Richard Ellison wanders back, ruining his luck, and Alan Border delighted to have got away with it in the first 3 balls of this crucial Monday morning.
Would have been a very nasty moment for the Australian captain had he been picked up without adding to his score this morning.
Another little push for a single. England can afford to maintain these aggressive attacking fields. It's always a nice time for the batsman if you're any sort of a player, because you've only got to push the ball around and runs come easily. That's what is, for me, the thrill of Test cricket. Both sides on the attack, and the more the bowlers attack, the more the batsman can retaliate. Ritchie is gone, driving a little ambitiously at Richard Ellison's away swinger. It was really quite wide, but Greg Ritchie hasn't been in touch this morning, hasn't quite found the pace, and that is the breakthrough that England were after.
Very good piece of bowling. I have a feeling it may have pitched just outside off stump. Certainly drew him into the stroke. And another very good piece of bowling from Richard Ellison, who, with the confidence of Edgbaston behind him, has has improved leaps and bounds. Every time he picks up the ball, he looks to be a much sharper bowler than we've seen before.
One problem there was the length. It wasn't really a driving length.
Wayne Phillips, the dashing left-hander, joins his skipper, but 71 for 5 is a very, very dismal sight.
Well, that was the one that swung and he got it offline. It's been chipped away to the leg side boundary.
Excellent pick-up shot by Phillips.
Well, in theory, that was just about perfect, but in practice, he was about 6 inches too far to the onside. Phillips is very severe on anything there. But the planning, the theory that went into it, another indication that Richard Ellison is improving all the time. 140 behind Australia at 83 for 5.
And it's Ian Botham to Alan Border.
Superb square cut from Alan Border. No third man with so many in catching positions. Absolute control of this stroke.
Plenty of men there in the catching position, but it's a lovely roll of the wrists. And it takes Australia on to 87.
No change, still to be Ellison. That's a good shot. Wasn't half volley by any means. Good length ball that. Cracked it on the up. Beautifully to extra cover for 4. Well bowled.
Although Border's just hammered Ellison for 4, he is the England bowler that's caused the Australian captain the most problems in the last 2 games. Judging that line around the off stump, Ellison's natural in-swing to the left-hander, very difficult for Border to judge. MJK Smith bespeckled on the left, Mike Brearley, Roger Knight and Lord Edward Dexter.
Gets around that Dexter fella. Both of them in again. And he's gone. There's the edge. Simple, straightforward catch. To Paul Downton. Wayne Phillips has gone. Both of them have struck yet another blow. And it's 96 for 6.
So Alan Border's last recognised batting partner departs on a rather sad note, because it's been a good series for Wayne Phillips, but he was nowhere near getting good contact on that delivery, and Downton celebrating again.
A very happy man indeed. Gone over to short leg now for Bennett to join Edmonds. Very seldom you see any Test cricketer these days in tinted glasses. Nicely away, Bennett. Nice little single. Tucked very confidently off his legs. There's the gentleman. You see him on all sporting occasions. Cup finals, soccer matches, test matches. But, certainly bring up the 100. Australia have staggered away onto 100 now. They've lost 6 wickets. And Border has once again made away nearly half of them. 49 for him. And that's a fairly unusual sight to see the Oval, or indeed any Test match ground in this country, sold out on a Monday. Ellison. So the single Border wanted for yet another Test match 50. And once again, one can't praise this guy enough. He really has had a tremendous tour. 50 has come in this match when they've really been up against it off only 87 balls. And he's found the boundary 6 times. And that's the 10th 50 he's made against England in Test cricket. In addition to that, he's gone on to 100 5 times. Ellison now to Bennett. He's on 3. He's played some quite attractive strokes in both innings off his legs here as Bennett. There's another good one. 3 more in this. Now the field move in, try to keep Border down at this end, prevent the single, and he's gone. Botham's caught him. Ellison's taken another wicket, and that surely is it. Border out for 58, 114 for 7. Botham making no mistake in the slips there, as that was nudged in his direction by Border.
It'll be a losing series for this man, but he's come out with it with tremendous credit.
And nice to see the whole of the England side applauding Alan Border on his way up these famed pavilion steps.
Ellison gets the line perfectly correct again, just outside off stump. This one leaves Border, and he can only help it on its way to those very safe hands.
Yes, I think he was looking in the end to push it wide of Botham through that gully area. Botham inevitably in that position where he's 2 or 3 yards ahead of the other slips, takes the catch comfortably, and that means that Alan Border in this series has scored no fewer than 597 runs. He's averaged 66 with a top score of 196. And has looked all the way through the one really class player in the Australian lineup. This is Geoff Lawson on his way out, and the England tail's really up now. Only 3 more to get out, 3 late order batsmen. That's Botham's 91st catch in Test matches. And Lamb has gone into a very short extra position there. Lawson has a habit of just lifting the ball in that area. It turns that quite competently off his legs. Coming back for the second. Just about made it. It's always going to be a little bit of a risky second there.
Geoff Lawson saw the fieldsman was Les Taylor and thought he could take a liberty with him. But Les gets to the ball quickly, and that's a good throw. And in the end, he's just home.
Lawson and off the mark was 2. That's a good stroke. 4 runs. And he picks that very firmly, hit through mid-on there by Lawson. And one of the ball boys quickly in action down at the Vauxhall end.
Ellison falls to the outswinger. Ellison has bowled it perfectly this morning. He got Border with a beautiful piece of bowling, and now Geoffrey Lawson with the outswinger that started on or just outside off stump and then kept going.
Swing bowling of Ellison is proving a very useful variation for this England team. Ian Botham banging it in one end, Richard Ellison swinging it, pitching well up to the bat. But of course, everything's going England's way. All the edges are being found. That's what happens when a team is riding on the crest of a wave.
Craig McDermott.
Murray Bennett's having a problem with, it seemed to me to be his glasses. It's just a question of perhaps he needs another pair, not quite as dark as the ones he had on before. And I think that's what's happened. He sent back the dark glasses because it is so dark out there, and he's just got an ordinary pair of spectacles on at the moment. Here's Ellison from the Vauxhall end. It's in the air, but it's safe. Once again, that big outswinger from Richard Ellison. Better than the one he caught the other day to get rid of Lawson. It was certainly brilliant, but you can stack both of them up as two of the finest catches you'll see in a whole era of Test match cricket. Botham has just caught McDermott off Ellison, and it's 129 for 9.
So it's the old outswinger. And Ian Botham, who stands so close, has jumped like a salmon or a porpoise high to his left and just plucked that out of the sky with two hands. And when the bat flails as fast as that, the ball goes like a rocket. And the man has done it again. What a wonderful match he's having. What a wonderful series. And it is just great to see him in such wonderful form.
And the new batsman coming out now is Dave Gilbert. Richard Ellison, 17 overs, 3 maidens, 5 for 46. Murray Bennett, now having removed his dark glasses. Caught and bowled. Bennett is out. Gilbert remains unbeaten. And England have won the Test match. They have regained the Ashes. The margin in innings and 94 runs. Crowd just hanging back in response to the request from the ground authorities to allow the players to get off the field. And then they're very welcome to come along and cheer their heroes, as well they might, because this has been a conclusive victory. England 464, Australia 241 and 129. An innings in 94, and David Gower must be one of the happiest men in the sporting world at this moment. Yes, David Gower had every cause to be really delighted about that scorecard. The Australians, very disappointing. Border 58, he held them together as he has done all the way through the series. Double-figure scores only from Wayne Phillips and Murray Bennett, and the rest a dismal performance, all out for 129, and that is reflected in the English bowling figures, with Botham 3 wickets from only 17 overs, Taylor 2, and Ellison 17 overs, 3 maidens, 5 for 46. And David Gower, the winning captain, had every cause to be delighted, and he remains so at the presentation.
The two captains, David Gower and Alan Border. The winning cheque for £5,000 from Cornhill Insurance. The president of the Surrey County Cricket Club now invites Mr. Cecil Burrows to present £5,000 to David Gower.
Gooch is player of the match, Gower player of the series.
To make his adjudication for the Cornhill player of the match and the player of the series, a warm welcome for that fine player, formerly of England and Glamorgan, Mr. Tony Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to nominate the Cornhill man of the match to the man who batted for a long time, almost faultlessly, and gave England a great start, Graham Gooch.
Tony Lewis presents the Magnum of Champagne. And now the Cornhill player of the series, once again, Tony.
Well, I think you'll agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that it's astonishing that two captains should play such a prominent part by their own skills as well as by their leadership. Unfortunately, now again, there's only one rule: winning or losing. David Gower.
Jeroboam, the champagne for the player of the series.
David, this has been a really historic day, as it was in 1953. You're looking very pensive. You're looking a bit pensive. You ought really to be very exhilarated, should you not?
I think, yes, Peter, it's safe to say that underneath this pensive exterior is really quite a happy man here. I'm sorry about 1953. I was just a little too young by about 4 years to actually appreciate that, but certainly from my point of view, I'm far happier to be here today than I was this time last year.
I'll come back on that in a moment, if I may. Alan, it's always more difficult for the losing captain to talk on these occasions, but you've got a lot of friends here.
Well, I thought... Thank you.
David, I've not heard such an ovation for a touring captain ever.
Well, I think, yes, to be fair, Alan fully deserves it. It typifies, I think, the way this series has been...
Oh, game, isn't it? You were swamped by the... You were swamped by the West...
Just going now.
Swamped by the West Indies last year. Tide turned in India. You were struggling to get runs in May in wet weather. And everything's gone right, hasn't it, for a long time?
Well, yes, actually, as the gentleman downstairs has just said, history sums that up. I mean, I think we all know very well that this game has very many ups and downs, whether they be personal or as regards sides. And you just accept the good times and enjoy them, and the bad times you just try and forget. You play through them looking for the good times again. So we're on a good time now. I'm delighted, very, very happy indeed. And I'm just looking forward to enjoying it now for the next 3 or 4 hours this afternoon somewhere.
One last question, David. What about the West Indies in January?
Well, yes, I mean, I'm sure they'll be quaking in their boots at the moment. Yes, once we've finished enjoying this little victory, we'll turn our minds to that very seriously.
To you, I have to say that it is a replica, the Ashes. And that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Two very good captains there, each of whom has played a great part in the series and will do so in Test match series.